everyone, this is our little video of our last bit of the Nene, heading on to the middle levels. We're actually on our way to a place called Ferry Meadows, or
which is part
Nene
of the
Valley Park.
Nene Valley Park.
Yeah.
This is one of in the Nene Valley. One of the Ferry Meadows is one of the large park areas there. Beautiful place. Loads of cycle routes, walking routes. There's a big activity centre on the other lake. We're on Overton Lake, and the other lake is Gunwade Lake, I believe. Large activity centre with bar and grill.
Didn't know you knew that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I looked at the brochure before. And you can hire kayaks and canoes.
And they've got picnic benches all around, and they've got like barbecues that are attached to the side, like a sort of about this big.
Metal grills that you pull out.
Brilliant.
So you can fit your own barbecue on.
Come and have your own barbecue.
Great day for a family day out. Obviously weather dependent.
Mind you, we had people sitting over there.
We did. A rainy barbecue.
Yeah.
Makes you come say.
You monkey. Right. So we headed for Ferry Meadows. We left Pudding Lane and headed for Ferry Meadows with a little bit of apprehension.
Just worrying that we could actually get moored there. Because there's two floating pontoons, and I think you can probably get 2 boats either side. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 narrowboats, and it can be
depending on their size as well.
It can be very popular at times.
Especially sort of that time of year.
Behind us there is Overton Lake, Nene Valley Park, Ferry Meadows, goes by many names, and there's some mooring pontoons on there. Right next to it is the Caravan Club site, and we've got some friends who are booked in at the site for the weekend, so we're just praying, fingers crossed, that there's space on the moorings for us to get there. I think there's 2 floating pontoons, so there's enough for 4 or 5 boats depending on the size of the boats. So we've been praying on this for the last couple of days. So once we get round that corner, I'm now going to turn the camera around and we'll see whether there's any moorings. Right, so here's Overton Lake. We're going to turn round there and the moorings should be visible. I'll probably add a drum roll to this later. There's the moorings over there. I can see boats on there, but I think there is a pontoon available. So last time we came here was last Easter. So it was Easter 2018, and we came here on a hire boat, and we're now bringing our home here. So big day really. I'm just so pleased that there is moorings available, because that would have thrown a spanner in the works for our plans for the weekend. We've got a Tesco's delivery being delivered to the camping and caravan site, which you're not allowed to do, so I've got to flag the delivery driver down just outside. If not, I'll get in trouble off the club wardens. Well, absolute result. The sun's bleaching it out, but take my word for it, my boat is there, so that's the moorings all sorted for the weekend. And the so there's our boat on the pontoon, 2 other boats, another boat there, and just through there we have the Caravan Club site. So I have a sneaky feeling, right, I just gotta crouch under here, sneaky feeling we're going to be consuming some alcohol this weekend. The only downside, let me just show you, is this checker plate that's used for the floating pontoons. It's no good for the dog's paws, so I have to lift the dogs over to that point there for them to do their business. But all in all, a beautiful setting. Resident geese that come and frequent the pontoon, they will move. On the end of the pontoon at the moment, the entrance to the lake is over there. Now, we was warned when we hired a boat here, do not attempt to come round this side of the island to get to the moorings, because it is that shallow you'll get grounded, and they have to send the rescue boat out to tow you. So if you come into the moorings, come straight through and aim directly for the pontoon. Can't believe this weekend there's hardly been any boats here, but hey-ho.
Yeah, so we had a lovely weekend, spent with my cousins Mandy and Nick, who bought their motorhome and were camping at the caravan club site. Plenty of booze, plenty of food.
And they cooked for us 2 nights running, so that was
lovely.
Yeah, that was quite nice. That was so. Cheers, Nick and Mandy. We left Ferry Meadows, and we just had a short cruise with one lock into Peterborough city centre.
Yeah, and it's a different side of Peterborough that you see when you go through, because normally everybody sees it via the road.
Yeah, and that being what was Peterborough, 40 minutes from us when we was in Bricks and Mortar, in Kingsley. So 45-50 minutes. Traffic depending, so that was
but you never saw that side.
No, that was our most local city, so we'd only ever seen it by going in by car
and parking in the multi-story. You never thought to walk around and see that side of it, so it was quite nice.
Yeah, so entering on the river, as you'll see from some of the footage, you get totally different views.
Yeah, it's lovely. I so wanted to go shopping because obviously
hop along.
Yeah, but I couldn't walk that far, so I was a little bit gutted, but it's something I have to live. Yeah, something I have to live with to a certain degree. But Mark went off by himself and come back with a wheelchair, and he'd hired it for the day, overnight, and the next day, and took me into Peterborough via the wheelchair that was 90 mile an hour.
I think I need wheelchair training.
Yeah. Do they do a course? Yeah, because he's so fast with the wheelchair, it's unreal.
We're now leaving Overton Lake. Fantastic weekend at Ferry Meadows Park, or Nene Valley Park, near Peterborough. Hats off to the guys, the rangers who keep this park tidy. Highly recommend a day out to anyone coming here. And we're at the first lock of the day, Overton Lock. Now this was the first guillotine lock that we done when we hired a boat from Fox's Narrowboats at March. Yeah, so it's like a trip down memory lane coming back to this lock, although last time I was on the boat and Debbie was doing the lock. Yeah, so we've got a nice floating Chinese restaurant behind us, and there's all the moored boats on the embankment, and the water point is just up there. Yeah, so we're moored up on Peterborough embankment, and you must be able to get 30 boats along there, loads of moorings with rings. And you look out the window, and who do you see?
I see Mark's cousin, Billy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, now so Deb ran up, banged on the window, caught their attention, and lo and behold, they'd actually moored behind us. Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
While we've been cruising these last few months, every now and again I'll get a message from Billy saying keep your eyes out for a boat of X pounds and X size and that, because they was looking for a narrowboat. Well,
didn't know
they'd actually bought one, and they'd moored up behind us. They weren't aware that it was our boat that they'd moored up behind. Yeah, so that was nice catching up with them guys.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Well, what's the chances of that? Come to Peterborough, moor up, and who moors up behind us? My cousin Billy, who's bought a narrowboat, and that's him now coming up there. So here they come chugging along. Beautiful little boat, and they're doing a bit of a refit on it. And Billy's boat wasn't the only one moored near us either.
It's like a bus. You're waiting for a bus, and there's none for ages, and then two come along.
Yeah, and I don't know whether any of you guys follow these pair, Mark and Bridget. They've got their own YouTube channel, Off Grid Living. They was moored in front of us or behind us, or did we moor behind them or in front of them? Anyway, next to us. Yeah. So had a little catch up with Mark, found out what he's been doing and some interesting future plans he's got for his channel. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. That's
Off Grid Living.
Yeah. Well, I've just seen a boat I recognise. Now going to see if anybody's at home.
Yeah, so we booked our passage through Stanground Lock to take us onto the middle level.
Yeah, and you have to ring 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, always ring 24 hours in advance.
Tina, same as my daughter's name. Yeah, Tina, the lock keeper.
Lovely lady.
Yeah, and just book that, and you then leave the Nene and you're on to the middle levels. Yeah. Well, that's had a wonderful 2 days on Peterborough embankment. You can see all behind me, room for 20 boats. Not sure of the time limit here, but there's rings and bollards, and then it also goes that way behind me. Well, we're going through there somewhere, through the Stanground Lock, and onto a new section of waterways for us, the middle level navigations. Yeah, so we're now in Stanground Lock, and this is the lock that takes you from the Nene onto the middle levels. And you have to book 24 hours in advance to come through. And we've got a 10:15 passage.
Yeah, so as we got through Stanground, the first couple of miles was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, due to this. Well, it's sad to say we've been on the middle levels 4 minutes, and let me see if I can get this. We've had 2 leather chairs, one further back there. Yeah, 2 leather chairs and loads of Celotex polystyrene insulation boards. Oh, and a mattress. So I don't know whether this is going to dictate the rest of our journey on the middle levels. I hope not, or whether this is just a isolated. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to dictate the state of the middle levels. I very much doubt it. I'd have thought that was an isolated incident. Nothing got wrapped around the prop. Just a shame that we're getting near to our old home stomping ground, and out of the 9 months we've been on the canals and rivers, those were the biggest single items of rubbish we've seen floating about. And here we've got the other half of the divan. Such a shame. Yeah, so we're aiming for the visitor moorings at Whittlesea, and we've got to negotiate a sharp right angle bend. Now we've done this
2 years
Easter 2017 in a 45-foot narrowboat, and I'd got myself.
That was his first time as well.
I got myself
granted.
in such a tiz about this bend, hadn't I?
Yeah, and we actually did forget about the bend.
Yeah.
And then coming up to it like with a 60-foot boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he done it like a boss.
I forget what this corner is called, Angel Corner, but it's a right angle. I've done it in a 45-foot boat, never a 60-foot. So I'm now going to pass the camera over to Deb. And we're round. So in a 60-foot boat, just as easy as it is in a 45-foot boat. But for somebody new to it, or the first time, that can be very daunting. Well, our plans are not going to plan as per usual. Just up, just move your head, Deb. Just up there is the Whittlesea visitor moorings. There's a little mooring pontoon, big enough to get a couple of boats on, but there's a narrow boat and a small cruiser with about a 20-foot gap between them, which means we can't moor there. So we've now got to continue on, and I think we've got a 3 or 4 hour slog and get to March.
Yeah. And another thing,
we've just had a panic. They use a different type of windlass. It's offset because the mechanism is hidden within that thingamy. Yeah, so there we go. This is probably some of the worst filming I've ever done. There we go. So that fits inside there. Well, we've just spent the last 10 minutes tipping the boat upside down, and luckily we've got one. If not, that was going to be run back to the man in the other boat.
Please can we borrow your windlass?
Please can we borrow your windlass? Right, now this is Ashline Lock on the middle levels. And this was the first lock we ever done when we hired a boat from Fox's Narrowboats. Now from memory, you have to wind this quite a few times to get the paddles open, because we thought they weren't actually opening when we done it. So I'm going to count to see how many winds this actually takes. Wow, 62. So that's Ashline Lock done.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're having a few mixed emotions about heading towards our hometown.
Yeah, it's weird really, but we're not going to go into that now. We'll cover that in the next vlog. Next week's vlog, yeah. So I think
that's about
that. Yeah, that wraps it up. I think.
Yeah, so if you like the video,
give us a thumbs up.
And if you haven't subscribed,
hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, please.
And if you want future notifications,
the bell icon,
little bell button, click that, and you'll get notified of any future vlogs. And say it every time, just keep those comments coming.
Love your comments.
Yeah, very encouraging, some of them.
Bye.